Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today we are going to work on an arrangement. It's going to be in a glass vase, but it's going to be one-sided for a church arrangement. So it's a little different than what we traditionally do for church arrangements. It is specifically for a baby boy in celebration of his birth. But she wanted to kind of go with an autumn theme too. So watch as we put this together. So we are starting out with a glass vase. This vase is kind of a crackled glass. It's really pretty up close. It's hard to see, I'm sure, on the video. I have filled the vase with fresh water and a little bit of flower food to help keep the flowers fresh longer. I'm going to start out with a little bit of leather leaf as our base greenery. So I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to cut my leather. I'm going to remove a couple of the bottom fronds just because I don't need it to just be huge, and you don't want the greenery to fall below the water line. Now I'm trying to, it's a little difficult or a little different for me to make a one-sided church arrangement in a glass vase. It's just something that's a little different, but it's a fun challenge. So that's what we're going to try to do. So I'm trying to leave my greenery just a little flat, and I just broke that stem. So there's our greenery, and it's kind of topsy-turvy, but that's kind of fun. Next we're going to come in with a few of these fun tropical leaves. I actually may wait until the very end to add those because they've got short stems, so we're going to wait just a little bit. I am going to take and strip off, this is eucalyptus, so this is Parvifolia eucalyptus. So I'm going to leave the stem pretty long because I would like to use this for some height in this arrangement. So see how that kind of gives us some height there. And then we've got extra little stems for the very end. Next I'm going to take Bells of Ireland as our line flower. So I have 3 really pretty bells. And we are going to use these as our line. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I am going to take my tallest and my straightest. I'm going to strip off some of the blooms off the bottom of the stem, and I'm going to pinch the tip out. I'm taking my floral knife and cutting that stem at an angle, and I am tucking that kind of right there in the center of my arrangement. Next, I'm going to take my second stem, strip those bottom blooms, pinch the tip, and it's going to kind of go to one side of the center. And then my second stem, my third stem I guess, will go to the opposite side of my center flower. So just like that, okay? Next we are going to come in with some pretty blue thistle. So thistle I consider as a filler flower. Lots of people call it a weed, but it's beautiful. So I'm going to take one stem and nestle it kind of down toward the base. And my second stem, I think I'm going to leave it up a little taller in my arrangement. Kind of tuck him in right there. So that gives us that pretty pop of blue. Next we're going to use this beautiful tinted hydrangea. So Victoria tinted it for me. Here at Flowers by the Bunch, we like to purchase our hydrangeas in white because white can be used for any color, right? I can use flower paint or flower tint, and we can dye those flowers or paint them, and it works for any color that you need. So this one has been painted with a little bit of delphinium blue, just for flowers, and a hint of, I think it's a fresh green is the name of the Just for Flowers tint in the green. I'm taking my floral knife and I cut that stem at an angle, and I'm going to dip it in Quick Dip. So Quick Dip is a hydrating solution that helps to keep our flowers hydrated. Hydrangeas tend to get so thirsty, and this just gives them a little boost of of energy to be able to drink that water. All right, next we're going to come in with a couple of sunflowers. We have some beautiful, happy, bright sunflowers. So these sunflowers have a pretty green center. So there are different sunflowers, different varieties of sunflowers. I was looking to see which one was the largest. I think this one's the largest. We can get different varieties. You've seen me use Vincent sunflowers, which have the dark centers a lot. But we got in these really pretty suns with the green centers, which are really fun. So I placed one a little lower in the arrangement, and I'm going to place my second stem just a little higher. Not a whole lot higher, but just a little bit. He's going to stand up right above the first one there. All right, next we're going to come in with some beautiful white roses. I think that this variety is called Playa Blanca. Really, really pretty white rose. I'm removing any of the petals that don't look pretty, and some of this greenery that goes down the stem, some of the leaves that are down the stem. I'm going to pull out a couple pieces of florist wire out of my drawer here. I'm going to take a pair of snips, and I'm going to cut one of those pieces in half. I'm going to take that little piece of wire, and I'm going to wire this this stem. So I'm taking it and I'm pressing that wire right into the calyx of the rose, and then I'm just going to wrap that wire right around the stem. Now what that's doing is it's just giving a little bit of stability to that stem. Now if the rose gets a little dehydrated, that stem gets weak, and when the stem gets weak, the head is heavy, and so it'll dip his little head. So this just ensures that even if the flower doesn't have quite enough water, his head will stay standing up and his stem will be firm. Again, I'm just popping off a little bit of a few of the leaves that are on that stem. I like to leave, if the greenery looks pretty, I like to leave it on the stem if at all possible. It just looks really nice. Okay, so I think I'm gonna come over here with my first rose. So I'm gonna take that stem, cut it, take that first rose right there. I'm going to take my second rose and we're going to step up there. Okay, and then my third rose, I think we're going to come up even taller. Kind of right here in the middle. I'm going to come down just a smidge. So you always want to cut off less than you think you might need to of those stems. You can always cut it off, but you can't add length back onto the flower. So always be careful when cutting your flowers because you may cut too much. Next we're going to come in with some Orange Babe spray roses. Just a happy, pretty little spray rose. They're going to come on the opposite side of my white. So you can see how I'm kind of color blocking this arrangement. We have the blue in the center. We have white on one side, yellow on one side. The green is kind of toward the back. And next we're going to come in with a little orange. I think the Orange Babe spray roses are so happy and so fun and the perfect added addition to most any arrangement. So we tucked those all the way down on the opposite side of the white roses. And then to finish with the flowers, we're going to add just a little bit of orange wax flower. Now wax flower does not naturally come orange. It naturally comes in more pastel colors like pinks and purples and whites. But if you ever see it in autumn colors like oranges and yellows, it has been dyed or tinted, and it's beautiful. It's really fun. And it paints really well too. So if you ever needed to paint some, you could certainly paint it. And it's really fun to use during the fall season when it's been tinted. And solidago, there are lots of different flowers and greenery that you can purchase that has been pre-dyed, and that's exactly what this product is. We ordered it from Budsy, and it was pre-tinted, which is kind of fun and different. Okay, to finish our arrangement, we have a few more types of greenery. So this is that leftover eucalyptus. So I'm just going to take it and I am going to tuck it low around the lip of this vase. You never want to waste, so use those little short pieces if you can. I tell you, if you can't use it in your larger arrangement that you're making, take that pretty greenery and tuck it in a tiny little vase and set it on your windowsill. It's so nice to just look at it. It's pretty and it lasts a long time. Now this is called green dragon. I always consider, it is a foliage, but I always consider it kind of a filler flower. It's just kind of a fun, whimsy looking filler. And so I'm just kind of tucking it throughout, kind of like we did with our wax flower, just adding a different texture to our arrangement. Now the one thing about the green dragon, you have to be very careful. It has to have water. It gets so thirsty, so it really has to have water. So be sure that it's in that water. Okay, to finish this arrangement, we have these really fun tropical leaves. I'll be honest, I do not know the variety of these, but I am going to take them. They don't really have long stems. So I'm taking my pair of snips and I'm kind of making a stem. I'm going to trim that, and we're just going to kind of tuck him low. Give us a little pop of color there. I'm going to do the same with the larger. We usually get a mixed box of just mixed different tropical leaves. So if you know the variety of this leaf, please let me know, because I would love to tell you exactly what it is. I love that it's got a lot of yellow. It's a pretty variegated leaf. So it has kind of a lemony yellow and a pretty limey green. But look how it pulls the color throughout with all of the sunflowers in different colors. All right, there is our finished arrangement. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions about how we do things here at Flowers by the Bunch, you can always ask. We would love to answer your questions. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you have not already subscribed to our channel, be sure to hit that subscription button right down below. Hit the bell and it'll give you notifications for when we have a new video. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.